From overnight global cues to live Dalal Street moves, we decode what matters for your money today. From stocks to sectors to the top business news, we've got your morning game plan covered. Watch me, Aabha Bakaya, as I bring you the opening bell action Monday to Fridays, 9:05 a.m. only on India Today.
Hello and welcome to India Today. I'm Siddharth Zarabi and joining me today is a very special guest, the Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva. Welcome.
Look, this investment guru tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight.
Well said! Well said! Well said!
SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
Presented by National Stock Exchange. Co-presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Good morning. You're with us here on Business Today. I'm Aabha Bakaya. Let's take you through the headlines this Monday. Shares of IDFC Bank in spotlight today after the bank revealed a 590 crore rupee fraud at a Chandigarh branch. Investors fear the fraud could be more widespread. The bank's 61,000 crore market cap could take a big hit. The fraud is more than the bank's Q3 net profit and nearly 40% of its last year's bottom line. Cloud over India-US trade ties as the government applies brakes on talks with the US, which were scheduled from today. Despite Donald Trump's assertion that the trade deal with India was on track, reports say the government is of the view that the US Supreme Court decision may give it more flexibility in trade talks. Busy day and week ahead for the markets. Tariff jitters, a big trigger today, even as markets wait for the big macro number. Q3 GDP figures, which will be announced this Friday. The IPO street is jammed again with at least 4 main board and 5 SME public issues opening for subscription. Wall Street ends higher on Friday, Dow up over 200 points, but US futures slip on fresh Trump tariff jitters, with Nvidia and Salesforce earnings in focus. Asian markets mixed as China and Japan shut today. Oil slides amid global trade uncertainty. The government asked PSU banks to lower interest rates for MSMEs. Financial Services Secretary questions why small borrowers are being charged a higher interest rate than big corporates. Says that banks should not be making losses on the loans while keeping in mind that the MSME sector is the core. Well, shockwaves rippling through the banking sector with a massive financial scandal in the IDFC First Bank coming to light. IDFC First Bank officially registered a police complaint and informed regulators this weekend when a staggering 590 crore rupee fraud involving the Haryana government accounts at its Chandigarh branch came to light. The discrepancy was uncovered during a routine account closure request, exposing several rogue employees. In a swift and unprecedented retaliatory move, the Haryana government has de-empaneled the lender and ordered the immediate withdrawal of all state funds. And a further update coming in as we speak. IDFC First has addressed investors in a con call. They've acted decisively against the fraud, saying that they will not spare those involved in the fraud. Scanning systems to contain such frauds, they've put that into motion and saying that the Haryana government's deposits are about 0.5% of total deposits, trying to reassure investors there. Checks were forged not in a digital mode, and forged checks were issued to external accounts. IDFC says they will be able to manage the case comfortably. No error in Haryana government's statements. Fraud amount could change, and they may see recovery as well. For more on this, let's go across to Nachiket Kelkar. Nachiket, this is really, making the markets a bit nervous to see a fraud in a banking major after a very long time. IDFC this morning trying to contain it and trying to reassure investors, saying it's all under control. But decode the fine print for us.
What has happened is this whole issue came to light when certain departments of the Haryana government approached IDFC First Bank to withdraw their deposits. This was following a government circular that, the public sector undertakings of the Haryana government and several Haryana's government departments should deal only with public sector banks. So the idea was to shift the money from banks like IDFC First Bank into public sector. And this is when the discrepancies in the accounts were found, the balance that the departments were claiming versus balance that was found in the account. Now, a preliminary investigation was done by IDFC First Bank, and what officials say is that the matter was restricted to one branch in Chandigarh. It is not a widespread issue, and it also does not affect other accounts in the bank. Certain 4 employees of the bank have already been suspended. The matter has been escalated. An independent audit is going to be ordered by IDFC First Bank. And what the officials are saying is that they will take strict criminal action against all the employees who are found involved in this.
Right. Just to understand, Nachiket, they're trying to allude essentially that because this was due to external checks, that the statements are all intact and they'll be able to manage any fallout of this. Also give us some kind of an indication onto the AU Small Finance Bank clarification also that's coming in, as they've also been involved in this.
Correct. So what has happened is, I think IDFC First Bank and AU Small Finance Bank were the two banks where which were empaneled where the deposits were. With the government ordering all the government departments to shift money from public sector banks to shift the money to public sector banks from private banks, the departments have approached both IDFC First Bank as well as AU Bank to withdraw the money from their accounts. Now, both IDFC First Bank as well as AU Bank have said that the deposits are not significant and that the impact after this is not going to be significant. For IDFC First Bank, the problem is that the 590 crore hit that it is claiming because of the fraud right now is more than the quarterly profit of 503 crores that they reported in the October-December quarter. So that amount may not have a huge impact on the broader operations of the bank, but it is still a significant amount.
That is the key takeaway. Nachiket, thanks so much for taking us through that and highlighting that and some of the key ramifications of this. We have also got the opening bell on your screen. Let's first pull up actually both of these key stocks that are in focus. The index is intact today. Also, of course, post all the news around Trump and tariffs over the weekend. So that was anticipated. But let's take a look. IDFC First, clear hammering on the back of this. A fraud of this scale, no matter how the bank is trying to manage it, the fact that this could happen happen has left the market very nervous. And AU Small Fin also down about 5%. Remember, the Haryana government also saying they're completely withdrawing their funds, even though IDFC has said that they will, of course, that the amount is just about 0.5% of their overall deposits. That's still making the markets very nervous. Nifty Bank is down just marginally. Some of the other key banking names, we'll take a look at how they're faring, because overall there was expectation that some amount of momentum would pick up when it comes to the banking pack. So the news apart, we are seeing movement in the likes of, for instance, and Access is on the move today. That one's up about 1% or so. Of course, a market favorite always, but let's also see what's driving up Access this morning. We've got... here we go, some news coming in on Access. CLSA, of course, has said that it could be a win for Access, buying stake in Credit Access Grameen. So that's what's driving Access higher this morning. And we are seeing some momentum building in some of the other key banking majors as well. We'll keep an eye on that. Quick look at IT and how it's faring today and whether or not we're just about managing to stabilize at lower levels. Let's pull that up for you. But financials clearly on your screen is where the strength is coming from, apart from, of course, an IDFC First, which is being battered on the back of that fraud news. IT also stable today, so hopefully the worst is behind us. A lot of brokerage downgrades coming in or reassessment on many of those IT names, but this morning fairly steady. We've got Shailendra Bhatnagar and Avinash Gorakshakar joining us this morning. Shail, coming to you first. How's it looking on opening ticks?
Well, Aabha, deep pain on IDFC First Bank, and this is likely to accelerate given the fact that just the first layer of this scam that you mentioned has been revealed. The top loser on NSE 500, as also AU Bank down 5%. Apart from that, I think it's the manufacturing space that's doing pretty well. That's a sector that we need to keep an eye out on. All German giants, all European giants like ABB, Siemens, Schneider, and as also local giants, Thermax in top shape. But it's the banks. Beneficiaries perhaps of this scam, apart from IDFC First that are leaping up. HDFC Bank days high 922. You have strength coming into Axis, which you just marked. Apart from that, the PSU banking setup is looking good. So Monday starts on a front foot with 1676 shares in the green versus 674 in the red. It's a good day.
Okay, and for once I'm in agreement, Shell, but and we've got HDFC Bank also seeing some amount of strength coming in. Also coming in on your screen, breaking news that bullion is shining amid those tariff jitters. Gold is now jumping 3,200 to 1.6 lakhs. MCX silver also surging this morning. Let's pull that up for you as well. Gold now at 1.6 lakhs and MCX silver jumping 15,000 to 2.68 lakhs. So that's the kind of move we're seeing on the precious metals. Remember, the entire tariff scenario, while in the short term is good news, but again, on the back of uncertainty, creating some amount of safe haven buying there in the market. Avinash, good morning. Let's first get your perspective on what it's looking like for the index, for the market, momentum, sentiment. We've got the last 2 days of expiry, of course, for the month. What's it looking like to you?
Yeah, good morning, Aabha. Good morning, Shell. See, my sense is that the markets would definitely see a gap up opening today because clearly the tariff issue is out. I think Donald Trump now has been told by the US Supreme Court that these tariff increases were completely illegal. But it creates a little bit of uncertainty for the export sectors, Aabha, because now we've been talking to some exporters, from the textile and the auto component space. There's a little bit of uncertainty as to what could be the final tariff and how things could shape up going forward. So I think, the markets would take it in a good scene as of now. But I think going forward, there should be some clarity as to what kind of tariff finally comes onto India. Donald Trump has imposed a 15%, kind of a complete duty on all the countries. But I think coming to the domestic markets, I think, the Q3 result season was much better than expectations. My sense is that the markets could see some gradual value buying, in companies where the numbers have been good. The commentary has been great. And I think, sectors like auto components, capital goods, hospitals, hospitality, these are bright spots in this market. If at all you get a chance to buy at lower levels, I think the alpha could be significantly high. So it continues to be a stock pickers market. My sense is that once today's gap up is complete, the markets would wait for more clarity because without that, the markets cannot go up, on this level. So definitely approach the market on a stock specific level, which I think could give in a very good reward because Q4 is expected to be much better than the quarter 3.
Okay, just want to pull up UPL for you. Remember, they're going to spin off and list their crop protection business. So just pull up the stock for you. That's why you're seeing this extreme reaction on a UPL this morning. Let's just pull that up for you. And I'm not sure, Avinash, if you track UPL on a closely, but I'll get your view in on that in a moment in case you do. 696, it's down about 8%, and this is due to plans to spin off and list the crop protection business. Coming at a time like this, what do you feel investors should look for through this kind of demerger?
No, I think clearly, the demerger is targeted to add value to the shareholders. Once the subsidiary gets listed, I think you're going to see a good value upside. But I think in the near term, there are some doubts whether, this subsidiary is going to actually be profitable, what kind of value monetization would happen, and what could be the swap ratio. So I think, markets are a little uncertain, and that's the reason the markets have given it a thumbs down. But I think as more clarity comes in, we have the management commentary, discussing the pros and cons of this demerger. I think clarity will come in. So I think, investors who want to take a slightly longer term call can use the weakness to actually accumulate the stock. Our sense is that this year with a good monsoon, numbers going forward should be better. And I think the the demerger which is expected is going to add value, but it will take some time, maybe a couple of quarters before you see some clarity.
All right. I want to get your view in on some of these IT names because we said Jeffries saying that AI may structurally change the IT business mix towards consulting and implementation while shrinking managed services. And due to the risks involved in that, they're still seeing a possibly higher downside going forward. They've cut their price targets by up to 33% and downgraded a whole host of names in HCL Tech, Emphasis, LTI Mindtree, TCS, Hexaware, the whole host of them. What's your take, Avinash, when it comes to the IT pack?
No, I think, Indian companies, according to me, have got the bandwidth and the tenacity to actually approach the AI scenario. I think what is important is that AI is going to be a facilitator, Aabha. I think it's not going to result into business closure for these companies. But I think in the short term, there could be a lot of uncertainty as to how many, people these companies would have to cut down. I think that is the near-term challenge. But I think you must understand one thing, that AI is only going to be a facilitator. In fact, AI could improve the productivity of these companies in the longer term by 30-40%. And mind you, these companies are all cash-rich. TCS is a company which has got a lot of cash. So in case they announce a buyback, the whole sentiment could change. So I think, somebody who's got a 12 to 18 month kind of time frame should stay invested here. But yes, I think movement in these stocks would be a little slow. So that's a point which investors should take a mind of.
All right. Shell, after the markets have settled into opening, any other key trends emerging this morning?
Yes, Aabha, record high on Indian Bank and Bharat Forge. Indian Bank, of course, we've been marking for a very, very long time. 963 for you. As I've been pointing out, the manufacturing setup is looking pretty good. I'd like to mark Cummins India, a fresh record high on this one, 4792, after the 21-year tax holiday that has come into the data-centric space by the government. The GCC space, Cummins has been the biggest beneficiary. Remember, about 26% of their revenue comes from power generation equipment, and this is a direct play to that theme that's looking pretty well. And of course, there's no stopping State Bank of India, 1% higher, fresh record high, strength coming into the AMC pack as well. This is looking good. Pain continues on IDFC First Bank, as also AU Bank. Remember, AU Bank was hitting repeated highs. So a 7% downtick there. But all in all, it's a good day for the markets.
Okay. Avinash, I didn't get your take on the IDFC and AU fiasco with regards to that fraud. What's your view in on it?
No, I think it's a big negative surprise, Aabha, because ever since Mr. Vaidyanathan took over the bank, this is the first incident of a fraud in a bank like IDFC First. And I think the number seems to be small, but I think, the trust factor is something which the markets would obviously take in account. AU Small Finance Bank has also given a clarification that, they don't have a large deposit base, from Haryana government. But I think we'll have to see typically what kind of impact it does in the quarter 4 numbers, because this will have to be provisioned in the Q4 numbers. net, I think today the stock is down. I think we'll have to wait for some clarity. There has been some conference call where the management has guided that not much damage is done. But, in qualitative terms, the stock will underperform for some time. So I think investors should wait and watch here rather than making a hurried, entry at this point of time.
Fair. It really is all about the banks this morning, and the downside, of course, on IDFC and AU Small Fin on the back of the trust factor, as Avinash so rightly pointed out. Under Mr. Vaidyanathan's tenure, this really has been the first such incident. And on the upside, we've got Access on brokerage upgrades, got State Bank of India in talks with Japan lenders to fund jumbo acquisitions, and SBI is also up 1%, HDFC Bank is up 1%, so clearly a lot of interest when it comes to some of the banking majors, and we've been waiting for that, and clearly ahead of expiry tomorrow, we're definitely seeing some of that action pick up. We'll leave it there this morning. Thanks so much for watching. Do tune in at 3 p.m. for market closing.
Presented by National Stock Exchange.
Look, this investment guru tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight.
Well said! Well said! Well said!
SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a strong start to Dalal Street today. Nifty almost 200 points higher for you. 25,750 is where the bulls are battling bears on the first day of the week. Nifty Bank in top shape, 300 points higher. But let's address the elephant in the room. This is IDFC First Bank. News coming in on the weekend of a big scam hitting one of its branches in Chandigarh. 590 crores worth of funds from a state government which have been in the scam, and that's hurt sentiment very badly on the stock. You have IDFC First now down 10%. Remember, it's an F&O stock, so that's the first circuit for the first half an hour. On the downside, very heavy volumes. Also AU Bank, both these banks implicated in this issue. So the management of IDFC First Bank has come out with a clarification saying that they've followed up a criminal complaint, and of course they'll get to the bottom of this issue. But what's a bit worrying is that the state government, which is Haryana, has asked all its departments to withdraw all funds that they have in IDFC First Bank and AU Bank. So apart from that, the sentiment is pretty good as far as markets are concerned. Banks taking it away across the board. Nifty Bank, as I've told you, about 300 points higher. The entire banking setup is in top shape. State Bank of India, 1228 days high. PNB taking it away, 132. Canara Bank, 156. Bank of Baroda, 314. And Indian Bank, the star of the PSU banking setup, 971. Fresh record highs coming in on Indian Bank as well as State Bank of India. And the private banking setup, there's no stopping HDFC First Bank. Remember, it was around 200-day DMA till about last week. ICICI Bank in top shape, 1404. And of course, Kotak Bank, 426. Metals, quiet a bit. IT in pain. TCS is the only one in the green. That's the setup of the market at this point of time. And apart from SBI and Indian Bank, let me also point out the record highs. MFSL, that's Max Financial Services, 3% higher. Bank of Baroda is also at a fresh record high. Cummins India, Power India, and of course L&T. So that's the state of play in the morning. We are also going to be joined by a guest on the show. Let me just see. Yes, Vaishali Parekh, VP Technical Research and Analysis at Prabhudas Leeladhar, will be with us shortly. Good morning, Vaishali. A very warm welcome. A good start to the week. How do you see the rest of the week, in particular, the banking setup?
Very good morning. Yes, it's a good start. So, as far as banking is concerned, well, our weekly range lies at 60,500, and now we are looking at 62,000 as the projected target. 62,500. That could be the next range that we would be looking at. So, yes, and of course, to say this, I would say, well, PSU banks continue to show a lot of strength, and I would be waiting for ICICI, Axis, etc., to participate and help Nifty go higher.
Okay. Apart from these stocks, is there anything else that catches your fancy, long or short? What are the charts that are looking good on either direction?
So I would say Reliance now looks quite well poised. I mean, it's time. I mean, technically, we are saying that 1380 acts as good support. And as the day began, we saw some good momentum setting in. So I would say my positional target would come to around 1450 to 1480. That is one of the stocks that I would look at. And I would not miss out on the cash front, the other banks, that is Bank of Maharashtra, etc. So I think we are getting quite a few opportunities. It's also the Adani pack which is showing strength once again. So, yes.
I like the last syllable, which is yes. What, according to you, is the strongest PSU bank amongst the lot? I'll remove SBI and Indian Bank from the list because that's pretty obvious. Both of them are record highs. Where are the charts singing gains?
I see PNB, it did give a breakout. PNB gave a breakout at 128. It's currently at around, I think, 131, 132. So next target we would look at is 135 for the short-term basis. But if not in a hurry and we are looking at the long-term projections, I think this can go also towards 145. So PNB is another stock that we do like. It's also Bank of India, which is getting into a new round of momentum, showing strength. So yes, overall, it's a good basket on the whole.
Okay, silver, ladies and gentlemen, on MCX is shooting up 5.4% higher. Silver Bs are 6.8% higher at 252.7. There is another strength that's coming into gold as well. So keep an eye out on these folks. Again, this tariff issue in the US raising its head. The Supreme Court in a majority decision, 6-3, voting against it. But Mr. Trump, being Mr. Trump, is looking to sort of try and remove that hurdle. But gold and silver in top shape at this point of time. Indian Bank, Vaishali, would you want to comment? Fresh record high 973. More strength ahead?
Oh, yes. I think there is still scope of 980 was anyways our target, but seeing the strength in the PSUs, I think this can go towards 1000 also.
Anything in the metal space that you'd like to highlight? We've had a strong move on the metals counters, but so far, a bit of profit booking in February. What looks good?
So I would say, Hind Copper, I mean, that is one of the stocks which looks, I mean, it's quite well corrected. So I think it's a good opportunity to consider this stock. But I would say metal sector already being so volatile, this I would look at a support of 540. So accumulate keeping in mind this support level. And I think this can again, in all likelihood, in new round of momentum, this can once again go to 650 and the next target be 750. The other stock, though, that's I think still in a ban, but sale, technically very well placed. So that is another stock to my liking. So these are the two stocks which I think can give us a good run up. And of course, silver index showing all the more strength again. So noble, I mean, the frontline silver and gold are buy at every depth.
Okay. ICICI Bank in strong shape as far as prices are concerned. 1405. Remember, this stock is also in the vicinity of its 200-day moving average, 1377. And we've seen a high of 1500 on the stock fairly recently, which was in July 2025. Keep an eye out on ICICI Bank as well. Because silver is in top shape, Hindustan Zinc, India's largest producer of silver, is up 2%. Let me find out some more interesting stocks that we can talk about. So Union Bank is at a new high, 2.3% higher, 198.50. This is a list which is powered only by banks. What else is buzzing? TFCI, this is a government Tourism Finance Corporation of India company, 6.5% higher. We won't be touching it with a barge pole. Too much of volatility. What else is looking good? These are the ones in top shape as of now. Names that we often discuss on board, as well as Morippan Labs, 14% higher, 44.9. Hirect, which is Hind Rectifiers, doing pretty well, 9.7% higher, 1435. What else is going good? Datamatics, 7% higher, 847. Apart from that, it's silver, all kinds of ETFs bouncing along with the uptick in silver prices. Vaishali, anything that catches your instance?
Right. We are looking at a few of the stocks. We spoke about Adani Green, Adani Port. So I do like these stocks, technically very well placed. Let's talk about Adani Green. I think 960 acts as a good support. It's in a good trend. Consolidating at these levels, 960. So once we see a clarity of the stock going above 1000, this is ready for 1050, 1080. And in the cash counter, we did see volatile transformers once again coming in momentum. So that is one of the stocks to my liking. And Siemens, because on Friday we saw ABB doing very well. Now Siemens and Bosch seem to be taking the round of momentum. So I would follow these stocks now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, IDFC First Bank. The first circuit in the 15 minutes of trade has now been removed. So beyond 10% down, the stock is now 15% down. What you see is 70.98. Now the counter is below 365-day moving average, which is a very, very painful thing to have if you are bullish on the stock. The last time we saw this price, it was on 7th of October. Let me just see the volume that has come into IDFC First Bank at this point of time. It's not coming that way. AU Bank is also down 6%. 292 crores worth of IDFC Bank has been traded in the first 20-25 minutes of trade. Where do you see support, Vaishali, on IDFC Bank, if at all? Of course, we are also trying to ascertain the extent and the level of fraud that has happened. This is, of course, the first draft that 590 crores worth of fraud has been found in a Chandigarh branch.
Well, I know it has been such a disappointment and it was so misleading. Till last week, we were seeing that it was on a verge of a breakout. And today we see this deep gap down opening. And I think technical support comes at 68. Even on a weekly chart, I'm looking at, that's the 200 period moving average for weekly chart as well. 68 would be the final support to look at. That's what I would say.
Okay. You wanted to comment on Reliance in the early part of the show. What looks good there?
So Reliance, if you see, technically it's showing good. If you see, it made a low at around 1340, 1350 levels. After that, we saw a good trend, now consolidating and getting into new round of momentum. So I think it's in the process of higher bottom. And I would say for absolute short term, 1400 acts as a support. For now, I would just take it as a trading range up to 1460. Above that, I would be looking at 1480, 1500. So I think if we are going to have an overall energy index, etc., is showing strength, so I would focus on this.
Okay, let's just look at what else is happening in the market at this point of time. I'd like to highlight some volume buzzers. UPL 10% lower, 677. The company wants to list its one of its divisions. Let me get you the right name here into a separate company. That division is almost 90% of its business. So that's the reason why you see this fall. So 3 accidents today. AU Bank down 7%, IDFC First Bank down 15%, and UPL down 10%. That's the state of play. Nifty about 150 points higher at 25,730. But remember, all highs and all intraday peaks have been sold into the market. It's a volatile space. In strength, the PSU banking sector. In strength, the private banking sector minus HDFC Bank and AU Bank. That's the state of play of the market at this point of time. What else are you tracking, Vaishali?
Like Fortis, I think the results were good. Technically, we are looking at it. I mean, if it's already got into momentum, getting into a trend. So I would say 900 acts as a support. Similar formation, getting into a trend after a short-term consolidation about 940, 945. This can go towards 980. So a good positional trade that I would look at.
Okay, I just like to highlight Hindustan Aeronautics. Ladies and gentlemen, the bad news just doesn't stop. There has been a crash of a Tejas aircraft. The pilot is safe. He ejected last at the last moment, but the stock down 1.3%. It's recovered from intraday low of 4,056. And this is the third aircraft that we've lost of the Tejas brand in the last 23 months. India Today reporting that the entire Tejas LCA fleet has now been grounded. And it seems it suspected technical glitch following possibly the failure of onboard systems. It doesn't say when the accident happened, but it's come onto news today. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen, as far as HAL is concerned. Vaishali, do you want to go ahead on a call on the HAL stock?
So all I can say, because yes, as you rightly said, it gives us hope and then it fizzles out. So I would say 3,800 is the final support, but nothing much to really talk about. Just wait and watch scenario. I won't recommend a buy because it's seen several failures even in the trend. So I mean, one is quite tired of this stock.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a series of bad news which HAL has been buffeted by. It wasn't a part of the AMCA fighter jet program. Of course, perennial delays hitting sentiment on the stock as far as the promised delivery of Tejas fighters is concerned. And now this news coming in that the Indian Air Force has lost its third Tejas aircraft in less than 23 months. Remember, one crashed in Dubai Air Show just a couple of months back, in which the fighter pilot also unfortunately lost his life. At least in this one, the pilot is safe, but again a big question mark. We'll wait for what HAL has to say. But 9:45, time to call it a day. Thank you, Vaishali. Before we let you go, we are now in the fag end of February, and we are also looking at the end of the FNO expiry tomorrow. Any thoughts on March as far as Nifty is concerned? Anything that you're looking ahead in the medium term as far as charts are there?
So yes, I would say that yes, capital goods have picked up. So I would focus on those stocks and very few stocks. I mean, we are looking at NBFCs like Shriram Finance, which we've been often talking now. It's MFA, Max Financial. So we continue to choose the stocks that we have been recommending because they have a clarity. So I would say as far as Nifty is concerned, well, still continues to be sideways. Same view, 25,400 final near-term support. Else 25,200. That could be the next level if we break these levels. And we need to wait for Nifty to cross 25,800 to 26,000 to give us a further clarity. So I think we can switch from now. I would say that yes, partial profit booking in PSU banks should be done and maybe shift to ICICI HDFC.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll pause here, but news continues. I'll be back at 11 with Devin Choksi. Please stay tuned on Business Today Television. Vaishali, as always, thank you very much. Very kind of you to join us.
Presented by National Stock Exchange.
Look, this investment guru's tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight.
Well said! Well said! Well said!
SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.